Yo, what's up guys? You got Pokey. I'm here with a tournament game live. So we have ABR versus Mimo. Now ABR is a very solid OU player and builder, known for honestly just incredible builds in the OU metagame. And then Mimo is, I believe, a French player who's been doing, who did really well when it came to laddering for OLT. I know Blunder praises him a lot, and he loves his builds. I actually love what he loaded up. It looks super cool. Maybe it's just a tentacruel right there, and my jam inner fanboy enjoying that. But as far as matchup goes, let's try and think about this a little bit. Lottie is annoying if it's Earthquake, and it's definitely Mega. It's definitely Mega. So Earthquake Mega Lottie is actually pretty annoying for Mimo to deal with. 2-hit KOing Mag, 2-hit KOing T-Tower with rocks up, guaranteed. Dealing with Metacham and Tentacruel, even Lando. I think that's Rocks Lando. I feel like you don't run Rocks Tyranitar right now. Obviously Mega Metacham. Mega Metacham though is a Pokemon that will come in and claim a kill, so a really aggressive Mega Metacham could definitely work out. Looks like ABR was expecting, or just building well for Kartana, since Zone plus Cart leads me to believe it might actually be SD Kartana or Banded and not Scarf, because I feel like you run Zone with it when you want to trap opposing Zone, you want to trap Scizor. It leads off a Blunder right here. So we see the Lando versus Lando lead. As far as matchups go though, I think it's pretty even. I think they both don't have switch-ins to particular mons. Mega Lottie is a problem, and Metacham is an issue too. In fact, this turn 1 might even be really tough for ABR too. Yeah, I completely agree with Mimo's play right there. Again, Metacham is such an issue for him to deal with. And being able to weaken... Oh, we do see a Supersonic Sky Strike. Really nice, really nice. Okay, leads us to believe that it might actually be Bandit Cart. Or even double Scarf with Mag plus Kartana. Scarf Cart in the endgame is super lethal, as he has 1 resistance to Steel and 1 resistance to the... Ooh. I think that's a good play either way. You don't give momentum by switching out, and if he wants to switch himself, fearing the Fly, though I doubt you would play aggressively on that, especially because Fly is a 2-turn move. Like Lando could take a Fly, and you turn out after. So again, Kartana is really lethal actually if it is double Scarf, or if it's Specs Zone plus Scarf Kartana. As everything, Metacham just needs like 2 turns of rocks to be in range plus Sand. Lele needs like a turn of rocks to be in range. Tyranitar is usually in range no matter what. And it might be Bantar / AVTar. I'm leaning more towards... Well, Zam isn't as an issue if it is AV Magirna. So it might be Bantar, which helps the Blacephalon matchup. Anyway, Lele comes in, and this kind of gets a KO. I think that ABR can easily go Magirna, but you don't want Magirna being overwhelmed right here. In the late game by Lele, of course. But at the same time, again, if it is like Scarf Cart, then there is just potential for that to sweep. ABR might just take this game. So he does go Mag, assuming it's AV. We are going to see a double out to Landers. Very nice double. That gives a lot of offensive pressure. And at the same time, though, I mean, if ABR was willing to go for Earthquake, to throw out Lando in a sense that, not necessarily throw it out, but get the most out of that turn if you want to predict the Fly, we could just see ABR going right back out into Lando. I don't think ABR risks Magirna here at all. Lele is way too much of a problem, but at the same time, you lose a lot by throwing away Lando because you lose an Intimidate pivot. The good thing is, though, under Psychic Terrain, Metacham can't Fake Out, which is pretty key in getting chip on Greninja. The bad thing is, though, that if ABR does end up sacking Lando, he's probably going to play a game without rocks. However, getting that 1 turn of Stealth Rock on Lele, again, just opens up that door for Cart in the late game with Leaf Blade. And even weakening his own Lando is super solid. Now, ABR is known to stay in on Pokemon that can threaten him with a KO and get it right, but that's typically with a Mon that can recover. So the example of if he has Pex out versus Coco, ABR will stay in turn 1 and get up a T-Spike or Toxic, knowing he will live a hit, and then turn 2 he might just stay in again, expecting an HP Ice or U-turn. He typically does that with like water types that can go for recover. I know Slowking is another one that comes to mind when I see his builds. But this is really nice because Mimo didn't go for the aggressive play. I still understand the Earthquake, especially when you're playing ABR. Sometimes he can be a little bit unpredictable with the Mon that dies to the Mon in front of it. So I understand Mimo's play really well. But this puts him in a really interesting situation because if ABR goes for fly here, Lando obviously can't U-turn and can't HP ice. It's faster than his Lando too. And what it would allow him to do is just get a KO on his own Lando. And I think fly is so free too because any damage on Magearna opens up that door for a Leaf Blade sweep in the end game. So if I'm ABR, I go for fly. If I'm Mimo, I think I don't switch. At least I don't let Magearna take the hit. Is it Tony? Why is Carp? What's wrong with Carp? Mystical Haze. Shout out to my boy Mystical Haze. Yo, when I was recording yesterday, that boy was just hyping me up. Just like Blunder in the chat. I forgot to look. My two brothers battling. There's some heat. Too bad he's on phone. I wanted him to join me for sure. But anyway. This is a tough turn for Mimo because Lando, again, loses nothing by going for fly. And he's in a situation where, again, if Magearna gets weakened, Gren could be annoying. What type of Gren would it be on this team? If it's double Scarf, Gren might just be... Gren could be Z-Dig. Yes, you do have Lottie to deal with Pex, but Pex is still annoying if it's not, if it's Grass Team Z Cartana. Honestly, I'm not even sure what type of Gren would be on this team because Spikes works really well too. And yeah, it's just a free fly for ABR, like I said. Let me rate this real quick. Lame. There you go. Anyway, a really free fly, and you don't switch out on this Pokemon at all. You don't switch out. We haven't seen Helmet. He does go Tyranitar. Interesting. So he lets Tar take a hit, and on top of that, ABR crits it, which is now in range of Earthquake from Mega Lottie. Unless it's Scarf Tar, which you do not see. Yeah, it just doubles back on Orlando. Again, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. Like, you let Tar take the hit, so... Yo, even a Scarf Magnezone is really annoying now. If because Tar's so low, and because Lando is essentially gone, and now he let Magearna take the hit. Like, I'm really surprised by this. He's really weakening his, not only his card switchings, but his answers to Magnezone too. So, like, even Flash Cannon, look how good it is now. It knocks out Lele, knocks out Tyranitar at the range it's at because of the crit. It turns out to be a Shukaberry Magearna. So that's even better for Kartana. If it is Scarf Cart, it guarantees outspeeds, and we'll be able to knock it out with the Smart Strike. However, ABR still has a few plays he can make too. For example, Magearna could come out, but at the same time, you don't risk Magearna there because of Lele. And looks like Scarf Cart comes in. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, Scarf Cart is so deadly. Though it could be a bulky... a bulky Magearna, but even then, yeah, Earthquake did too much at, what is that, -1 Shuka? That's not bulky Magearna at all. What is this? Why didn't I block PMs? I can do that here. On this. I did not, I know I can do it on main server, I didn't know here, but yeah, like I said, Scarf Cart. So I think it might be Scarf Cart, but Scarf Mag, and even Battle Bond Greninja. It has no Dark Resist left. Tyranitar doesn't count. Tyranitar definitely doesn't count. What rocks up at 50. So this Kartana is set to get a KO right here. And you only bring it if it's Scarf. He let Tentacruel take the hit as well. And again, I'm going to pause it because I don't want them making a move. Can I pause that? Yeah, I don't want them making a move before this. Scarf Leaf Blade is ridiculously deadly. Magearna dies to +1 Scarf Leaf Blade. Tentacruel obviously dies to Leaf Blade. That's 35% at neutral. So... Lele dies after rocks. Even if he spins them away, it's already in range of it. And Medicham just needs, if it's +1, it gets the KO. So right here, we'll probably see Latios come out, yeah. And I don't think Tyranitar is going to be a problem for either. We do see a spin. Latios should essentially get a KO unless Lele comes out. That's the only play Mimo can make that denies the KO. And he actually ends up giving him the Landers too. So the Intimidate stop is there. Yeah, this is... But that's still really smart too, because it means that Earthquake from Lottie does not knock out Tyranitar, and it looks like Mimo gets the play right and goes for Crunch. I think Crunch was a solid play either way. However, Cart gets to come out, and this is where Cart kind of wins. It just wins right now. Like, ABR positioned himself way too well with Cart. That was, I'm pretty sure this is game. I'm pretty positive this is game. Medicham dies, Lele dies, Magearna dies. Scarf Cart came through. So that's why like fly earlier was really nice. And I'm not trying to be biased. I'm trying to get both win cons. I understand like Mimo wanting to play around Lando, but while doing so, he really let his answers. He let Magearna come in. I think Magearna should have tried to set up on potentially Kartana locked into Leaf Blade. That way, Magearna would not take the hit and would still be healthy enough to take a +1 hit. I don't think Magearna eats this. But I think the ABR should calc. No, he doesn't even care. Yep. Last game. Scarf Kartana wins. Actually, yeah, I don't even think ABR needs a calc there, because if -1 Earthquake did 38% through Shuka, that was definitely offensive Magearna. So that's game there. Is he still PMing me? I'm sorry, didn't mean that. Yeah, man, stand by your play, dude. If you're gonna talk crap, talk crap. Don't apologize. But yeah, like I said, that was a really set up Kartana win, I feel. And I don't think there was much that Mimo could do about it. He had to preserve Magearna, he had to preserve Lando, which ABR was, dealt with Lando early on in the game. And even Crunch, like going Tyranitar really paved that path. And even if he didn't go Tyranitar, there wasn't much he could do there. No matter what Mon he went on, if he went Lele or if he went T-Tar, the Kartana was already set up to go. So yeah, that was just good setup for Kartana to win. In my opinion, I think that was just really set up for Kartana to win. It was a really weak Kartana team. Scarf Cart plus Zone was a good call on his part. I did like his team though. I really did like his team. Metachamp plus Lele is a really interesting build because typically you want Metachamp's fake out, but maybe the Metacham was, because obviously it boosted headbutt, which is nasty. But maybe the Metacham was like double elemental punch, dual stab, or maybe it just still had fake out either way. I don't know. But yeah, that was a pretty clean game one. Don't think there was much else that Mimo could have done. Like he had to play perfectly, and ABR I think had to throw away Kartana, and I think that Landorus as a lead, like ABR's lead matchup, unless he led Lele, he put himself in a position just to weaken it. So is there the second game happen? No, we're just talking about the first game. But yeah, if we go for let's go to the first turn. Like from this turn, ABR's already in a great position because he gets to weaken Lando for Cart. Like had Mimo let off with Lele, it would have been different because especially if it specs Lele, it would go for the Psychic and get a chunk off of Magearna. And I think Mimo's win con in this game would be either Specs or Scarf Lele. I think it's actually Scarf based on his team. But it would be Scarf Lele and then keeping Landorus alive and healthy enough to take on a Kartana that's prone to sweep and try and either burn it with Tentacruel or wear it down with Landorus' Earthquake. That's just it. But again, Scarf Cart was just way too good in this matchup. He has one Leaf Blade resist, he has one Smart Strike resist, and Lando was just weakened too early. So I just wanted to stress how that was, like this turn 1 and 2, it was already at a disadvantage because of Kartana being Scarf. And yeah, Earthquake was a fine play there too, so yeah. I think that was well played, and I honestly think that was, I don't want to make it on matchup, because I don't think matchup, I think it was a hard matchup for Mimo regardless. That's what I wanted to say. Like, yeah, I don't want to say it was unwinnable, but Kartana did not need very many conditions met in order to sweep. But a big turn was obviously bringing in Mag on the Lando and then being committed to stay in. Like, he just let everything get weakened. Yeah. And it looks like game 2 is here. So, again, loving the way Mimo's team looks. Really, really, really cool. I just want to get, look how pretty it looks. Look at all the colors and whatnot. I love the double steel core. Speaking of Mawile, it is ridiculously threatening in this game. as it gets free attacks off when Tangrowth comes in. Potentially if Tornadus and Kyurem as well. Wow. If it's sub Kyurem, that is really nasty. I think it might be Specs. I feel like Specs is really nice. And Specs only needs one play, right? It literally needs to click Earth Power once on a Heatran switching to then claim a KO whenever it comes in. As far as team goes, it might actually just be Scarf Greninja. As it's pretty Volk weak, but at the same time it could just be Rock Slide, Tangrowth, Water Shuriken, Gren, and then like Taunt, Torn, and maybe Roar or Toxic Tran, and that's like the idea to keep that mon out. ABR leads off with Alakazam, his opponent leads Magearna. Now Mega Alakazam does not die to Flare Cannon from a non-offensive Magearna. However, a Z Magearna definitely picks up the KO here. Assuming this is Assault Vest, actually looking at Mimo's build, I do think that while you do have another Steel and a Greninja, you don't want Lele spamming attacks for free. So I feel like in Mimo's case, he'll be AV. And he actually hard switches out into Lando right there as ABR goes for Focus Blast. And I think in ABR's defense, or what he was trying to do, and he gets a Spadef drop. That's pretty big because Landers will die. So I think in ABR's defense, like what he's trying to do there is open up a door for Battle Bond Greninja. Looks like it might actually be Battle Bond or even a Protean 3-attack Spike type of set to abuse Coco Volt Switch U-turn with Tornadus. So he Focus Blast immediately. I guess understanding that this wouldn't be an offensive Magearna, as Greninja's going to come out, and ABR double Focus Blast turn 2, and he's able to get rid of Greninja. Wow, that was a really aggressive play, as he's going to go out to Heatran, as, ooh, Mimo takes one right back. What a play. Woo, woof, there was a fire turn 2. I got to see the chat's reaction. That was a fire turn 2. So, that's incredible. Gren being gone is a little bit bad. I'm assuming it was Scarf Gren, by the way he brought it in on that so he could U-turn after, because now Coco, for instance, can Thunderbolt and Volt Switch are free. Lano has already met the condition where HP Ice knocks it out if rocks are up. So that was a fire turn 2 and a fire turn 3. Yo, props to both players. This is why I like recording tournament games. When they're both using like offense versus offense. I'm not trying to record balance versus balance with stall. I actually hit up ABR prior to it and I was like, bro, you're not using stall, right? Because I'm not trying to record that. He's like, no, I'm not using stall. So anyway, Lando comes in. Let's see how aggressive ABR will be. Goes for Wild Charge, so more than likely a Z Wild Charge. And that's pretty cool because that'll always pick up the KO Magearna and Mawile. So that's really nice. The fact that this Lando's SD means that Torn and Tangrowth are always safe plays. Torn makes a lot of sense if it's Rocky Helmet. I'm assuming it is Rocky Helmet too because it's more than likely Z Lando just based on, Z Peck. Z Coco. Z Coco based on the fact that it was Wild Charge. And again, the important thing about it being, let's see the helmet. Yep. This is also a cart pivot. The important thing about it being, I'll pause it real quick. The important thing about it being Wild Charge is, again, it'll always KO Magearna no matter what with the Z move. Now, that turn 2 was so good because Mimo gets a KO right now with Play Rough. So that's why that turn 2 was so good. So I think that was incredible. It's also incredible because whenever Kyurem comes out, oh man, ABR going for it. Whenever Kyurem comes out, it also gets a KO with the Ice Beam. So I think this might just be Mimo's game, depending on this is T-Spike Battlefront Crimp like recovers down. Like it would need to be something like that. So he went for Hurricane there, playing off the confusion. Tornadus was still very useful for Superior, obviously, and Lando immunity, and also blocking a U-turn with Rocky Helmet, basically just neutralizing it. But at the same time, Mimo again just claims the kill because of that turn 2. So what a fire game so far. So he goes for Hydro Pump as Superior comes out, as he is going to bring out Zam. Zam on the contrary, so not expecting Glare or anything like that. However, Mimo could be using Scarf. Nope, it's not Scarf at all. So this is just a 1-for-1, just picking it off. Now, the thing is, based on the nature of his team, it might just be offensive Magearna, and his opponent does scout for that. That could be Shift Gear Calm Mind. I'm assuming that that did way too much. Like, that's definitely offensive. That's not AV. I mean, that's AV Tangrowth, but that's not AV Magearna. That did 36%. I can't believe that's AV. 36% to Tangrowth? Unless it's FizzDef AV Tangrowth. He keeping Zam alive because Zam is obviously the difference between him picking up a KO on something like Landorus and not. Had he recovered there too, if it is Calm Mind Mag, you might just win. This is tough. That turn 2 was really good. Like, that turn 2 looked really good for ABR, but then turn 3 was incredible. And, I mean, he couldn't predict Brick Break Mawile, so really solid prep on Mimo's part. I really like that, man. It's fire. I'm thinking it's going to go to game 3 too, because honestly, you literally go Kyurem here and click Ice Beam and win the game. So, like, maybe you don't want Kyurem getting knocked off. You can also do the same thing with Magearna, assuming it's Z. Gets off the Earthquake and gets a crit. Pretty important, actually, as that does put it in range of 2 Dark Pulses from Gren. So that's actually a really, really, really important one. Though Gren is actually pressed to go for Dark Pulse here, as obviously the dude has Mawile. So that was super important, that crit. But again, it might not matter too much either. You know another mon that wins? Scarf Kyurem as well. Yep, like I said, it was offensive. He tries to pick off a last-ditch effort attack on maybe the Greninja. And, I mean, it would have hit Coco pretty hard too because of its own terrain. But Lando can come out. And this is a turn where you do not go for rocks. You literally click Earthquake and get a KO. Yeah, you don't value rocks right now. Earthquake picks up a KO. You're good. And now Greninja can come out. And this is where it gets a little bit scary because that's Specs Greninja. And if he gets a turn right, like for example, if he Dark Pulses on the Kyurem switching, it might be enough to 2-hit KO. And that means he can go for another Dark Pulse. And if he gets... And Mawile is almost in range too. So it might not go to game 3 because Greninja is pretty pressed right here. Or pretty set up as well to potentially sweep. This is really important right now. If I'm Mimo, I mean, I can't say anything. It's a 50-50, right? I think ABR has to go for Dark Pulse. And actually, the reason it's not a 50-50 is because Dark Pulse can flinch. So it's more in ABR's favor to go for Pulse right here. Lando also doesn't knock out Greninja from full. However, if it does turn out to be Scarf Kyurem and not Specs, though I think it was Scarf Gren, which is why he switched it in on Zam. And I think it is Specs Kyurem's. I don't think it's Subrus either. I feel like his team is really, really aggressive. Like, you didn't even see leftovers on Superior. That's how aggressive that team is. That boy is ready with the Specs Kyurem. It has to be Specs. It might also come down to a focus last miss. So goes Kyurem. Let's see if ABR does go for the pump. He does. And Specs Kyurem has to go for Ice Beam here. He does. Yeah, he has to go for Ice Beam. This is actually bad for Mimo too because he has to go for Ice Beam since Coco can come out. I think ABR risks Coco here. I feel like ABR does risk Coco here and expects the Draco because if he does go for Ice Beam and Greninja hits 2 more Hydro Pumps, ABR sweeps with the Water Shuriken. So this is another turn. Like, this is really coming down to just a guessing game at this point too, because if ABR goes... if ABR stays in on Ice Beam and he hits 2 Hydro Pumps, he can win. If his opponent... No. Mimo's play is always the Ice Beam. Yeah. The fact that Hydro Pump can miss is something that he has to take into account too. And there's too many repercussions if he goes for Draco and the opponent goes Coco and then U-turns out too. Though if he does go for Draco and opponent goes Coco, Mimo might even stay in and double Draco expecting the U-turn, anticipating Lando to want to come out, and then Mimo might be able to pick up the KO either way. I think the safest play is to... And it is Scarf Kyurem with Draco. Oh my... Woo! That's game. That's it. It's Scarf Kyurem with Draco. I talked about, like, you know, the if it was Specs Kyurem, I think Ice Beam was his play. But it's Scarf Kyurem, so there was a lot less risk there. Because even if he goes Coco, you always have Kyurem to revenge. And at this point, ABR can't beat Earth Power. He's probably calculating if Zam lives at -2. I kind of doubt it, even if it has a little bit of HP. So this might go on to game 3. Wow. So Scarf Kyurem. I would not have expected that at all. Wow, that was cool. Again, Mimo has some really interesting builds, and that Brick Break turn 3 was fire. You're getting Coco here. You spam HP Ice, but... Okay, so let's assume that... let's assume that Mimo has a Sucker Punch on a Mawile. If he has Sucker Punch on Mawile, you go Lando here and sack it. ABR might HP Ice himself, as I think it's the safest play. He's obviously immune to the Draco. HP Ice gets the KO. Mimo might try and have as many Pokemon as possible while not giving momentum away, so he might actually go Mawile on the U-turn / HP Ice. The only attack that ABR can go for that will knock it out is Z Wild Charge. He does go out into Lando, and at this point, I feel like Zam needs to crit, because, yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. You literally waste the turn to terrain. You go for Earthquake here. You waste a turn of terrain. That's one turn of terrain gone, and Zam is gone. Actually goes Mawile too on the Psychic. So now you're playing even more. I guess he wants to guarantee the kill versus... Actually, no, this is the better play. Yeah, 100%. My bad, Mimo. Almost did not understand your thought process there. Because what this does is... Mawile always goes for an attack. It's not Sucker Punch. Mawile always attacks with whatever accurate move it has that will guarantee a connection, because then he just goes Kyurem, clicks Ice Beam. Ice Beam knocks out Zam at 38%, and Ice Beam 2 it KOs Coco. By having Landorus alive, he guarantees he wins unless HP Ice crits. Literally unless HP Ice crits, and even then, yep, again, you don't Sucker Punch. Go for whatever accurate move you have. You get in Kyurem here. You Ice Beam, I think... Oh, he went for Earth. I guess Earth Power killed? I'm surprised. Hold up. This isn't... It's not Scarf, right? It's not Scarf Coco. Is it Scarf Coco? Even if it is, if it's Wild Charge, there's no way... If it has Dazzling Gleam, there's no way that kills. Right? Like, there's no way a Scarf Coco wins. Did it switch out? I wasn't paying attention to when it switched out. Wild Charge. I mean, whatever it switched out, it was always presumably faster and everything. U-turns. Yeah, we don't know if it's Scarf Coco or not. I doubt it. Even if it is Scarf Coco, well, there's not much he can do there. Maybe Thunderbolt Para? Goes Lando. Scouting for Scarf Coco as he Brave Birds. It is Scarf Coco. Or Z Fly. Yeah, anyway, Mimo wins the game with Scarf Kyurem's Ice Beam. So, wow. I just got to go back to that turn 3 was so good. That turn 3 Brick Break. And you can't even blame ABR for that, man. That was just a good play. Where's that Bandit? What the hell? Ripper did 23. Let me calc this. Like, I'm tired of not understanding. Chop Coco. Brave Bird, defensive Landorus. That is Bandit. What was Bandit Coco? Wow. Cool. Not bad. Again, that Brick Break was a fire play. That was fire. I love all the Earth Power too. Just to catch the Coco Plus switch. And then he switched out just in case it was Scarf. I could go for like maybe Dazzling Gleam and either knock out... I doubt Dazzling Gleam knock out Kyurem, but maybe crit him. Or also playing around the Thunderbolt Para. So we are getting a game 3, folks. I'm happy about that. That was fire. That was really fire. But yeah, that play was really cool. And see, I talked about how Draco only had repercussions if it was Specs Kyurem, but the fact that it was Scarf made it make more sense. Huh. Why are they doing random poke? Okay, so game 3 coming soon. That was fire, dude. Turn 2/3 of that game. Fire. That was fire, dude. I was even jokingly in my head saying, what if this is Focus Punch Mawile? That was actually fire, dude. I can't believe it was Scarf. I thought Specs cure him at the end, so I was talking. He's not gonna watch the video, so I might as well talk. Talking about, oh, he might, who knows? He sometimes watch them in tournaments. Talking about Draco. But Draco having downsides if Specs. But it being Scarf is fire too. This is good because obviously I'm biased towards ABR because he's my teammate and friend. Mimo, I don't know, but I'm doing my best to get it from both sides, and that was really cool. So I'm really excited to see what they bring Game 3. Mimo's the type of player who builds offense, bulky offense. That's his preferred play. Why is the Pokemon TCG thing opening up? I forgot I have that on my desk. Hey, get out of here. I haven't played that in forever. So if I'm ABR, Mimo might whip out the Laddering team he used with Blacephalon and whatnot, because that's his. I know that's Bunner's favorite team. I don't mean it's his, but it's really scary for ABR to load up something like Stall, for instance. I don't think ABR will Stall. I mean, I talked about it already, but it's really scary to load up Stall versus the dude who's been running nothing but these breakers. You got Mawile. What the hell are they talking about in this chat? Honestly, I think we could see a Lopunny from Mimo, just based on the nature of what he's been using. Let me go to replay real quick. ABR. So I want to remember his Game 1 team. Yeah. Metacham, Mawile. The teams are evolving. You might see a Lopunny now come out, or something cool like Zeraora. I feel like he'll bring like some type of cool breaker. So I'm pretty excited for that. We're definitely gonna see a Lando again, that's for sure. That's the bread and butter when it comes down to that. And he looks to prefer defensive Lando too, as it checks more. But I'm thinking again like a Lopunny type of build. The Lopunny is of course risky versus ABR, who's used Zam so many times in World Cup, and so has the team. But at the same time though, ABR is a modest Zam lover, which Jolly Lopunny obviously outspeeds. So this will be it'll be a cool game. It'll be a really cool game. I wonder what ABR is gonna use. Like I really like this team choice Game 1. I think Team 2 was really cool too. Banded Coco is not something I've seen since the beginning of Sun and Moon, not even Ultra Sun and Moon. But yeah, it's been fun. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this as much as I am. It's just really cool to see some aggressive plays and things like that. I don't know. Let's make some bets. You gotta bring the biggest, baddest Mega. In fact, okay, so if he doesn't bring Mega Lopunny, I'm actually thinking he might bring Sand again and bring Mega Garchomp. I feel like Mega Garchomp is those. Okay, no. I think number 1, Mega Lopunny. Number 2, Mega Charizard. It could be X or Y, it doesn't matter. And number 3, Mega Garchomp. Those are the 3 Megas that I think he's gonna pick from now. But as far as going versus ABR goes, I also feel like Mawile is a good pick again. I keep wanting to click these things. And as far as ABR goes, it's a little bit harder to deal. I definitely think Greninja will be coming. Let's see. Yep, okay, so there's Mawile again. And ABR does bring Zam. I believe it's AV Tar on this build. It doesn't actually have to be because he has double steal, but that doesn't really protect you from they both brought Rhenoclist, man. That doesn't really protect you from Mega Zam. Speaking of which, Mega Zam is ridiculous in this, especially paired with Tyranitar. If looking at Mimo's build, the fact that he has Tentacruel plus Rhenoclist leads me to believe that's Acid Armor Rhenoclist, and his game plan is obviously Poison the Dark type and then Acid Armor Calm Mind up. ABR might just be banded. He has to be careful because if this is gonna be a long game, this is gonna be a long game. If the Tyranitar gets poisoned, probably just lose to Rhenoclist. At the same time, though, it could be Calm Mind Wars between Rhenoclist and Rhenoclist. That's super likely, especially because an Acid Armor boosted Rhenoclist does not care about Mawile unless it's SD. Mawile is still the most deadly Pokemon here, especially if it's that Brick Break set one more time. Though I think it might be Knockoff on this team. I feel like Knockoff better supports Reuniclus. Just getting rid of leftovers on every mon and just letting Reuniclus set up and sweep. Also, you know, being the anti-Reuniclus check too. So this would be a longer game. As far as ABR's win con goes, Torn is nasty in the sense that it just knocks everything and does not care. When we see Heatran plus Lando, we typically assume it's Scarf Lando, and on this type of team, it might just be Scarf Lando plus Scarf Scizor, plus Rocks Tran. Scarf Zone, excuse me, I called it Scizor. Scarf Zone for opposing Scizor. But Specs actually makes a lot of sense too. No. Kartana's annoying. Kartana's way too annoying. SD Kartana literally has its way with this team. Yeah, no, that's definitely Scarf Zone. Scarf Zone, maybe Scarf Lando too. The other option is Rocks Lando, Z Tran, or Z Rocks Tran. 100% T-Spike on Tentacruel. ABR, I'm pretty sure Modest Zam. Maybe Knock Pharaoh. Doesn't even have to be Knock Pharaoh because he doesn't have Zone. We see Zone versus Heatran lead. 100% Scarf Zone, though. You are definitely Scarf Zone. So for ABR, this is interesting because if this is actually Groundium, you know, Heatran's annoying in this game. Heatran's super annoying to Mimo in this game. Magma Storm plus Earth Power, especially if it's offensive. Yep, Scarf Zone. That's offensive. Heatran 2, that did way too much damage. You go Tentacruel here on Rocks. If it is Groundium Z, it goes for it now. I think it's, well, he has Zam, so he doesn't really need to lure Megalotti. It might actually be Groundium Z. But Inferno Overdrive is a little bit more likely. Again, because he has Zam and Tentacruel as pivots, and even Ferrothorn as pivots into Megalotti, I don't think it's Steelium Z. I don't think it's Corkscrew Crash. But if it is Groundium Z and he's able to just get rid of Tentacruel, like this is really scary for Mimo too, because even Earth Power damage is really, really, really crucial on the Tentacruel. So goes Ferrothorn. As his opponent is going to go for spin. Do we see Rocky Helmet? Nope. Scarf Zone loses to Leech Seed plus Protect Pharaoh. Pretty badly actually. It has the potential, because I think you Leech Seed, you Protect, you Power Whip, you Protect, you can Spike and whatnot. Like you can beat it 1v1. The interesting thing is though that Tentacruel does not have to run. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't have a reason to run Rainish anymore. This ain't Gen 5, so it could run Liquid Ooze. That actually might be better for ABR that he missed that initial Leech Seed. Just because, again, if it's Liquid Ooze, though it could be like his Clear Body for like a Sticky Web matchup or something, so it can spin, depending on how fast Tentacruel is. I understand the value of Heatran. It's really important for dealing with Mawile and whatnot. If that is Earthquake Tar, though, you'll be okay. I don't know. I feel like you damage Tentacruel early on, and it helps you so much in the late game. Because this T-Spike is just going to be annoying as hell. Like, Mimo doesn't have a reason to not go for another T-Spike either, especially if he is Liquid Ooze. So we do see a Spike. An offensive Inferno Overdrive Heatran is really scary. And ABR is obviously pressed to not go... wow, the dude could just steal him right here too. You do see an Earth Power. Gets a Spadef drop. Again, Zam is a problem for him to switch into. You don't want to Mega Evolve though, because you obviously don't want to get poisoned. I want to calc that damage on Earth Power. That doesn't look to be invested. 37 I feel like is too low, but maybe I'm overestimating Zam's bulk. Yeah, Earth Power does more. So that's probably a max HP Heatran. I'm gonna assume that's no special attack investment. Yep, no special attack investment, which means Focus Blast does 66 to 78 unless it's full on Spadef. He does go out into Landorus right there. And because that is... Oh, this is bad. ABR might just lose his Tornadus right now. Because that is defensive Heatran. Yeah, this is ABR might just lose a Mon right now because Supersonic Sky Strike is too nasty. Goes for Rocks. So wait, is it actually Spadef just leftovers taunt toxic? I feel like the T-Spike is just going to be overwhelming. Like, ABR doesn't have a way of defogging, so that's really, really good pressure on Mimo's part. The good thing about OLT is you're not out, I think, if you lose. Initially, just playing, like, different brackets and whatnot. But the fact that that Lando did not have any item, Stellar Earthquake, SD, Continental Crush, possibly. Or just Supersonic Sky Strike. Not that he's not Bulu weak though. He has triple steel, a poison type, and Reuniclus. But I guess switching into Bulu is annoying if it like super powers. So we might just see an SD from Mimo. We might just see a Z move come out here. If I'm ABR, I probably either recover if I expect the Z move. Okay, so not Z move. Acid Armor is also a play ABR could go for. Just Psychics. That damage is really crucial because Reuniclus obviously cannot recover. However, ABR doesn't switch in to Mawile. Heatran dies to knock off. At the range it's at 50. It dies to knock off. It's offensive trend. If you go Feral Thorn, then I feel like you have to save Reuniclus. Reuniclus is too good. Though it looks like it'll be taunt Heatran, like Reuniclus is way too good. It's a pivot into Lando. Look how much Psychic does because Mawile has 0 bulk prior to Mega Evolving. ABR can't sack T-Tar either. He doesn't want to make it come down to a combine war between Reuniclus and come for a crit. I wouldn't want that anyway. And every single Psychic that ABR uses is one less Psychic that he can use versus Reuniclus if it does come down to that. And you can't sack Torn. You need a defog. Oh, with the T-Spike. You might have to just sack Heatran here. And then you don't have a play after. You get a Tyranitar, I guess poison. Tough position. Good positioning on Mimo's part. Tough position for ABR. Really tough. Is ABR just gonna try and go off the miss and Acid Armor? Like if you do go Heatran, and like by some miracle Heatran actually lives, right? Let's say he actually goes to play off and not knock off or anything, or not that crazy brick break that he had before. Heatran literally has to rock. And then defog at a point 2 to out. Let's see, knockoff. Wow, Train actually lives it even without. I thought it did more. I thought it was 40 something range. Yep, Heatran rocks. Oh, Trent has the Willow. That is fire. That is absolutely fire. So that opens up a huge door for that Reuniclus again. The fact that it's Willow Trent is huge, huge because he can't heal himself from that. And what was a giant threat isn't a threat anymore. Especially because it's going to be in range of Hurricane soon. So, ABR can make 2 choices. He can obviously attack what's in front of him. His opponent goes Tentacruel. I think he does opt to attack. Goes for rocks. I know, ABR, if you're grounding him, you got to reveal it now. Yeah, that burn on Mawile is so big. Because Mawile is just a giant threat. And now it can't come in on literally any attack. Do we see grounding him? Just Earth Power? I mean, that does some big damage. What the hell? 57%. We are going to see Feral Thorn come out now. Let's see if he gets burnt. Yeah, I just want to see what the hell happened with that play. So this is interesting. That turn, like, that really I didn't know it did 39. I thought it did 40 something to 50. Even if I know it's Z-Tran, obviously, but does Mawile only do 39? There's no way. That has to be a lower roll, right? Like. Yeah, okay, I was right. Right? I was like, how'd you do 39? He got the absolute lowest roll. Unless ABR has some HP, obviously. So, this is how Vero can beat Scarf Zone. It has to land the Leech Seed, though. It's pretty, what is it? I think it has to get the Leech Seed upon switching, though. Not 100% sure. But it is weakening Zone. Spike. He protects. Yeah, I think you have to get the Leech Seed upon switching to beat Zone. Because you need to have it when you're at 100%. So he needs to double protect here. Doesn't get it. You go Torn here. You don't even have to go Torn. You can go Reuniclus as well. So in order for Leech Seed Pharaoh to beat Scarf Zone, you have to get Leech Seed upon switching. So what ABR needed to do was Leech Seed on the zone initially, because when you're at 100%, you can protect and waste an extra turn, and then you can power it, protect, spike, etc. This thing gets a KO though. Like that's just a fact. He can even opt to Focus Blast here. I doubt your Focus Blast though. I don't think you risk Mawile coming in on anything. Like Psychic will kill Mawile. Focus Blast will if it connects. I don't think you risk Tran though. At this point, I'm not really feeling what Magnezone can do versus this guy's team. Goes Lando on the recover. Surprise. So we get in Torn right now. Do we Z? No, we just U-turn. Rocky Helmet. Okay, chipping away Lando. Now it's in range of Psychic. Heat Rank comes out, and if it knocks its leftovers, it's really good. That'll be huge. Yep, that's huge for Zam. Absolutely huge. Zam is being pretty nasty right now. Are we going to see a defog? A last ditch effort defog? I mean, he's going to get rocks up regardless, right? You just spam. No, it's rocks Lando. Okay, so U-turns out into Zam, which can take the hit. Smart man. Focus Blast from Zam does not kill. I'm pretty sure we calc that. Yeah, and if it's Mega Zam, doesn't kill either. That's actually pretty big too, because that means the next Earth Fire is going to hurt, and it might force ABR to actually Mega Evolve. Doubles that to Tyranitar here. Potentially the Magma Storm, as he goes for Earth Power, and it is AV Tar. So what he's going to do is he's probably going to pursue, because it guarantees that Heatran's in range. Yeah, it might just come down to Renucleus Wars. At this point, everything's already set up for a Renucleus War. Lando's already in range of Alakazam. Unless Shadow Ball just overpowers, because Zam can overpower his team. Zam right now knocks out Mawile with Psychic. If ABR gets any pursuit damage off on Heatran, which he literally gets right now, it knocks out Tran with Focus Blast. Guaranteed. Like, all ABR has to do is click Pursuit here. Because it's not guaranteed that your spikes will stay up. In fact, you might even be pressed to defog because your Heatran obviously dies. So, yeah, I think it's going to come down to Renucleus, or if Zam can actually do it itself. Do we see a Pursuit? We should see a Pursuit. No matter what, Pursuit is his play. Yep. Okay, so now Tran is in range of Zam. Do you Earthquake here? Like, now Tran is in range of Zam if Zam goes for Focus Blast. But maybe what ABR wants is Zam, it's just like Psychic. Like, he wants to limit the amount of Focus Blast. So we do see a Magma Storm. We do see an Earthquake come out. Okay, so he does not have to hit a Focus Blast anymore. I mean, Magnezone goes down anyway. If he goes Tentacruel and opts to spin, I think that's a poor play. I feel like you go... Yep, you go Zone and Voltage, because that's the only one that guarantees a kill. So Zone is in range of Psychic. Thunderbolts. I mean, Zam is faster than Zone, Scarf Zone. So Zam comes out now and clicks a button. I click Shadow Ball if it has it. Zam also knocks out Tentacruel. You go Zam here always, I think. Wait, if he's Modest Zam, you can't go Zam. Huh. If he's Modest Zam, he can't go Zam, because Zam isn't faster if it's Modest. Is ABR still running Modest Zam? Is he? Uh-oh. Looks like he is. Oh, Modest Zam. Knockoff doesn't kill Zone at 34, I believe. It could have superpower. Especially because he's running Zam, so maybe he has a lure. He has Heat Wave and misses. That is really big. That is actually big, because now he's forced to Mega Evolve with Zam, which he doesn't want to do. Because he wants to keep his Magic Guard. Yeah, that was huge. That obviously would have knocked him out. Hurricane probably had a chance to knock out Tentacruel as well. That was pretty big, that miss. Again, still probably comes down to Reuniclus Wars, unless Lando does have a giant Z move that just drops it on Reuniclus. Because with Mowile being burnt, it's not a threat. Knockoff is still annoying, but it's not a threat. Focus blasts and misses. No Shadow Ball, I guess, or either that, or it might have been HP Fire then. Or HP Ice, even. So, wow. Double miss versus that. Pretty nasty. I mean, Mimo's doing his best play. He doesn't need zone. So, Reuniclus recovers, and he'll always take the hit. And he has to Combine here. No, he recovers once more, then Combines. Because if he gets crit right now, it's over. And based on the way it's going, I feel like Magnezone might actually end up critting it. Yep. Mawile comes out. Goes for knock. And ABR is making the correct play of Acid Armoring, because if Mawile SDs, it'd be a problem. And Acid Armor is such a good play too, because it means that Reuniclus isn't. It means that, Landorus isn't the biggest problem. So really smart play going for the Acid Armor right there. And the Psychic, the +1 Psychic also guarantees the KO on Lando. So really smart maneuvering by ABR. And we do see the Acid Armor, but he has wasted a few recovers, so it will come down to if Reuniclus crits Reuniclus. I think ABR goes to +6 and throws off Psychics till he crits. He only has 15 Psychics left though and 12 recovers. If ABR does crit the Reuniclus though, he wins. If there are no crits, Nemo's Reuniclus straight up wins because it has more PP. It looks like it's faster too. It's gonna come down to this, I guess. I think it would have came down to this either way. The only way I think it would not have is if Zam had Shadow Ball, but it didn't go for it versus Zone, so I'm pretty sure Zam didn't have Shadow Ball. Is there a way to skip to like turn 60 when one of them crits? No? So the interesting thing is, like, ABR doesn't have to spam Psychic right away, but the second he gets the crit, it's over. So I guess. Oh, and he's Psy Shock too. Ooh. I don't like Psy Shock on this set. Oh, ABR got the crit on turn 45. It might be over. It might actually be over. Unless Mimo gets the revenge crit. ABR got the crit so early. Holy crap. And Mimo does not get the revenge crit with Zone. Lando has to crit. Okay, ABR. Lando has to crit too. Doesn't. Wow. What a series. Definitely a fun series. Holy crap. That was good. Good. Spin away the spikes for next game. Alright, well, ABR ends up winning that 2-1 in a really close one. Again, we talked about in the beginning that, especially after that Wisp on Mawile so early, we talked a lot about how it will come down to Combine Reuniclus Wars, especially because ABR really played around Mawile super well. Acid Armoring first was 100% the play because Mimo had to go for SD if he wants to try and break through. So, really solid game. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Thank you everybody for watching. I will catch you guys next time. Goodbye, my friends.